Alright, this video is just on basic factoring. So students will be able to factor monomials from polynomials. So let's just start off factoring this monomial. Now, when I say factor this monomial into two monomials, all I mean is break it up into something we know that when we multiply together would equal 16x to the fourth. So we just got to think of any two numbers that multiply up to 16. So let's say 2 and 8. And then I could break up x to the fourth in a few different ways, but let's just say like x to x to the third. Now I've broken it up into two monomials. Now there's more than one correct answer. I could have also said, 4 times 4 and x squared. There, that's also two monomials. The point is that I just need to break it up into something that works, okay? So same thing here. Why don't you guys go ahead and just try that real quick. Break it up into two monomials that equal 27y cubed. Pause the video. I'll put a couple answers up there in a second. Okay, here's a few that I came up with. Essentially these are kind of the top and the bottom are kind of the same, just different order, but basically 3 times 9 is 27 and y times y squared is y cubed. So any combination of those makes two monomials that equal 27y cubed. Alright, now that we have a little practice with that, let's get to this type of question here. Find the missing factor that makes the equation true. So we zoom in here. Basically they're saying, hey, here's your original monomial, and that's equal to d, whatever d is, times 8x squared. Well, this is pretty easy to figure out. Let's just look at the numbers first. 8 times what would give you negative 24? Well, you could just do negative 24 divided by 8, and quickly you see it's got to be negative 3. But that's not it, because we need to look at the variables as well. So if I had an x squared here, what would I need to get to an x cubed? Well, I would need one more x. And I don't have any y's here, so what would I need to get to y squared? Well, I would need a y squared. There we have it. That must be what d equals. Okay, so you're just kind of using your logic to work backwards and figure out what that missing term has to be. Okay, these ones say find the greatest common factor. Very similar to some problems we've done before. All I want to do is first look at the numbers. What goes into both 8 and 32? The highest number that goes into 8 and 32. And you could start with 2, and then you could see, yeah, 2 goes in there, and then you could also see, a 4 goes in there, but the one I think that's going to be the highest is actually 8. So if I pull out an 8, I'd be left with a 1 and a negative 4. So I just did the numbers first. Now let's do the x's. Well, if this has x to the fourth and this has x cubed, it's going to be the lowest degree, which is x cubed. So I can pull out an x cubed. If I pull out an x cubed out of x to the fourth, that means I would have one x left. And here I would have no x's left, so I would just leave it exactly like that, negative 4. And there it is. That's the greatest common factor. 8x cubed is the greatest common factor, and that would be 8x cubed times x minus 4 would be the same thing as this original equation. So go ahead and take a look at this one. I want you to find the greatest common factor, pull it out, and then rewrite it in its factored form. You may want to pause the video and try it, and then I'll put the answer up there in a second. Okay, well, I could see that a 6 goes both into 6 and 42, so I pull out a 6. I have 8 to the 7th and 8 to the 4th. 8 to the 4th is the lowest degree term, so I'm going to pull out an 8 to the 4th. That leaves me with 3 a's here and no a's here, so I have a cubed minus 7 on the inside of the parentheses. And there's my answer. Okay, almost done here. A rectangle has an area of 24x cubed minus 8x squared. The width of the area is the greatest common factor of the area. Find the length and width of the rectangle. Okay, this is one that seems a little crazy, but what I would recommend that you do is just draw a rectangle and think about it. So we know that the area is 24x cubed minus 8x squared. We also know that area equals length times width. So whatever the width is here and the length is here, these two things multiplied together will equal this. And they also give us a hint here. It says the width of the area is the greatest common factor. So we can actually find the width by just finding the greatest common factor of this. So between 24 and 8, I see that we could pull out an 8. And with the x's, I see that we could pull out an x squared. So that must be the width, because that's the greatest common factor. Now to figure out what the length is, well, the length would just be what's left after we divide out the 8x squared. So let's see. 24 divided by 8 would be 3. X cubed divided by x squared would just be x. And 8x squared divided by 8x squared is just going to be 1, but we do have a little negative sign here, so I'm just going to say minus 1. So that must be our length there, and that must be our width. Okay, so for the summary, I just want you to describe what a greatest common factor is in your own words. You could get it right, you get it wrong, just try your best if you want to get full credit on these notes. All right, bye.